Murkowski.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Stone-Manning, you've said that what BLM does every day is try to achieve balance, but yet in my state, in Alaska, it seems that you have abandoned any pretense of balance. Except for the reapproval of Willow following the law, we appreciate that. BLM is restricting development however and wherever it can. And we've seen this in our petroleum reserve, we've seen this in the 1002 area through the public land orders, the resource management plans, the rejection just recently of the Ambler Access Project. It feels like an onslaught to me, and it's not just me that's noticing this. It is other people who are making a joke out of it. It's not a joke. You see, they're putting sanctions on oil and gas production. Where? Iran, Venezuela? No, Alaska. It's a red state. It's a joke there, but it's not a joke back home. It's not a joke at all because it has direct consequences on our jobs, on our revenues. It hurts our energy, our mineral security. Despite the press releases coming out of the administration, it doesn't help the environment because what it's doing, it's helping to degrade global ecosystems by incentivizing foreign projects to move forward without the protections and the standards that we would have here. So I'm angry, I'm frustrated. You know that. I've suggested that we need to clean house, we need to cut BLM's budget, at least until the agency realizes that they've got to follow federal law, that it actually matters, that the commitment to balance matters. So let me start my questions with something that we just learned about yesterday. And unfortunately, we didn't learn about it from BLM. We didn't learn about it from DOI. We learned about it from the governor's office, who asked for information from my office about what's the deal with PLO 5150. So you know very well what I'm talking about. BLM recently finalized its Central Yukon Resource Management Plan, its RMP, and as part of that, BLM decided not to lift PLO 5150 for the TAPS pipeline corridor. The state had selected this decades ago as part of its statehood entitlement. And by law, BLM is supposed to convey the selected lands in a timely manner. They hadn't been moving on it, so I passed a law 20 years ago. My law in 2004 directs BLM to lift PLOs in Alaska. And then in 2006, BLM recommends lifting PLOs on over 50 million acres and recommended that the best way to do that is through the RMP process. So we've got an RMP process. We got it for the Central Yukon. That's been going on for over a decade. And now what happens? BLM reverses course from the previous administration, refuses to lift PLO 5150 as part of its land planning process. Instead, they got a new promise here. What we're going to do is launch a new process with a tiered environmental assessment as soon as the Central Yukon plan was finished. And this is going to allow BLM to finalize the RMP and then move forward on a compromise for PLO 5150. And this was going to be a compromise developed by the state of Alaska that would protect subsistence and involve far less changing ownership. We didn't really think that that was perfect, but everyone that I knew of was willing to support it. BLM repeatedly, until like last week, told my office and Alaska DNR that they were going to do it. And so the state worked with the BLM for more than a year. And you're very well read into this because you drove the Dalton Highway last summer with the commissioner and the deputy commissioner. And then this week, we learned, nope, it's not happening. It's over. The plan is dead. The commitment is revoked. The Central Yukon RMP is over. It's done. There won't be a supplemental process to lift the outdated PLO for the pipeline corridor. I don't understand how you can sit here, how those in your department, all the way up to the secretary, can sit here and make these empty promises and then break them whenever you feel like you want to break them. And so I want to know, who canceled BLM's commitment to move forward on the state of Alaska's compromise on PLO 5150? And if it wasn't you, who was it?
Senator, I know that's really important to you. I know it's really important.
Yeah, it's really important. And we got zero word, zero, nothing. Is it happening?
I wouldn't call it canceled.
Okay, what would you call it?
My conversation with the commissioner last week was about how we're up against some timing issues and some workload issues throughout the department.
What does that mean?
And our plates are full, and that we're not moving forward with the EA in the timeline that we had originally
I don't
discussed.
understand what you have just said. Is the project canceled?
No.
Is the project delayed?
The EA is, I guess delay is
Is
the
the
right word.
project delayed for the duration of this administration, or are you continuing to work on it? Is it dead as far as your office is concerned?
Senator, no, it is not dead as far as my office is
Then what's
concerned.
happening?
As I was saying, our plates are full. I like to make sure that we get things done and
Who made this decision?
done well.
Who made the decision?
It was a collective decision about workload, which I always have.
Was it you? Was it someone at the department, or was it out of the White House itself?
It was a collective decision about workload with the department.
With the department, so the White House wasn't directing this.
Not that I know of.
Okay, I'm actually just stunned with your response here today. You knew we were going to have an opportunity to discuss this, and the fact that you can't give me really a straight answer as to where you are. Workload, give me a break. You've been working on this for 10 years. 10 years. And now you've come and you can't tell me whether or not it's canceled, it's delayed, if it's going to continue, if it's dead for the duration of this administration. My time is over, but I'm hopeful we have a second round.
Senator